Yeah, you get to be outdoors and play boat, and yeah, I enjoy it.
A humble outlook from George Horne, captain of the William Darrell, otherwise known as Horne's Ferry. He is the current torchbearer of an international ferriage service that started nearly 2 centuries ago.
Well, I started out with rowboats, then I had barges, and then my uncle bought this big old boat called the Jack Carthage and brought it up here, but it was too big for right here. I think it carried maybe 30 cars. So they kept it and then sold it. This boat was built in 1953 by my father and uncle. My father's name was Darrell, my uncle's name was William. So that's how they came up with that. Well, they went to a place in Lake Erie. It was called Harry Gamble Shipyard in Port Dover. That's where they had it built. The day they brought this boat from Lake Erie, I remember people coming to look at it and going down in the engine room. And the headroom's not all that much, but I would be about 5 years old. All the old people, they had to bend over to look around in there. I could walk standing up. My dad died in 1970. So then my uncle and I and brother did it. And then when my uncle retired, my brother and I did it. And he retired, so I got nowhere else to go, so I'm still here. I'm back, and my cousin Colin is working with me, and he's very capable.
Since 1829, this has been the way. Fathers and sons, uncles, nephews, and cousins passing responsibility for this historic river crossing from one generation to the next.
I'm going for my chief mate certificate today, actually. But I've been deckhand for a number of years. My first summer was 1998, and I was just, flying around the whole point there, and then they asked me to come work and cut grass, and I got the call one winter from Bruce, George's brother, and he wanted to know if I was interested. So I said, yeah, for sure. It's pretty exciting, actually, because I grew up with the ferry. It was always there, always in the background. You could always hear the engine. I'd finish school for the day, and then I'd take the Wolfe Islander over and come work with George, and then Bruce could go have dinner with his family. So I'd finish the day, and then I'd spend the day at my family cottage, which is just down the shore there. So.
Colin has a mastery of the ferry's logistics, but perhaps equally important is his passion for this transportation route's personal significance to its travelers.
We run every day, so same schedule as we've had for the last few years anyways. We make extra trips whenever we can. We try to, get some people who might be stranded on the other side. If we have a full load, we'll come right back and get them. We try our hardest not to keep people waiting. Typically, it gets pretty busy in July and August up until Labor Day. Right now, we're slowly building up. Once school's out, we'll get lots of families riding the ferry and having a good time. A lot of folks coming from the U.S. side who have a lot of cottages on Wolfe Island. They've been here for decades. They bring with them a lot of enthusiasm, but a lot of stories about this crossing. Some of them are in their 80s, and they've been riding this boat, and some of them have been riding this boat since they were babies, and they've got photos. A lot of them contribute photos and stories to our social media, so we try to promote that, try to collect as many photos and stories as we can. And our main social media outlets and the primary source of all our information is Facebook and Instagram, and our handle is @HornesFerry. There's no apostrophe, just HornesFerry. That's where we put everything official from Horne's Ferry. Try to make sort of like an online history, make it fun for people to be part of this, because it is, and a lot of people say that. They say they love this boat, they don't want it to go away, they've known it their whole lives, and I can relate to that. And so it's nice when you have that, when you're out here working every day, rain or shine, there's always somebody having a good time you know, coming back, and if you haven't seen them for either a day or a week or maybe a whole summer, maybe a few years, they always like to come back. And you know, you get those people who haven't been here for a couple decades, and they can tell you stories that you've never heard before. So you're still hearing stories all the time, every summer. So.
From Cape Vincent, New York to Point Alexandria, Ontario, for WPBS Weekly, I'm Guy Carlo.